everybody's texting, you see the Cowboy Channel and me kind of limping back to my horse. But I thought, man, that kind of hurt. I don't think I'm going to be able to rope. Talked to him, called Steve Knowles, talked to the PRCA, got it cleared with all the Houston people, the judges and everything. If I want to come back and compete in the semifinals, which is at this point, that was 2 weeks down the road, and I'd already had enough money wanting to advance at Houston. I have to compete. So I had to declare for my calf to go get onto my horse, declare. I couldn't just not show up. I mean, I'm on crutches. I couldn't walk that day. They're thinking he's not going to be able to rope.
Tomorrow we're going to see how it goes. I mean, they're watching this and tomorrow you're open. So What's your prediction?
I mean,
welcome back to the Let's Freakin' Rodeo podcast presented by Boot Barn. Today is just a solo episode, me and Ty. We haven't done one of these in a few months, and so it felt good just to kick it and relax and talk all about rodeo. In this podcast, we covered Ty's health. There's a lot of questions y'all have had surrounding he got hurt and his second calf in Houston. Tomorrow is the semifinals for Houston. Obviously, if you're the champion of Rodeo Houston, you can win $65,000. Will he be able to compete? How is his health? How is everything going? We talk about all of that in this episode. And then he was on a heater the last few weeks, won 4 straight rounds at the San Antonio Rodeo, won the first round at Houston. He talks about his mindset, what's contributed to that success, and all of that. Really, it's just a chill podcast. Me and him relaxing, hanging out, talking about rodeo, kind of back to the origins of why we started this podcast. So we hope you enjoy. Keep leaving comments for guests for future topics y'all want us to talk about. And Let's Freakin' Rodeo. Yeah, welcome back to the Let's Freakin' Rodeo podcast. Solo episode, me and Ty only for the first time in a long time. Maybe since NFR prep or NFR recap.
Before the finals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think me, you, Braden?
It was me, you, Braden, and then... Oh, I'm sorry. Then we did
Sioux Falls
recaps, September recaps, and I don't even think we maybe did it. It's been a while. However long it's been a little bit. I'm sitting here, and you're wearing a boot on your right, not a cowboy boot, a health injury boot, and then a cowboy boot on your left foot. So if people watch your YouTube, if people keep up with your social media, or if people just watch the Cowboy Channel, they've seen that you got hurt in Houston. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about even before that. You were probably roping. I mean, you've gone on hot streaks your whole career, but that was one of your great hot streaks you've been on. Then you get injured. Now we're getting ready for Houston. We're going to talk about all that. We can talk about storylines, some cool standings and cool guys who are high in the rankings, who are low in the rankings. We can talk about that. And then we'll kind of just unpack some cool rodeo stuff. So
I love it, man. I feel great. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
So, first off, elephant in the room, your injury.
Yeah.
Talk to me about it.
Like you said, I've never roped better than this for sure. I'm not saying I haven't roped at this level or at this caliber and won at a high rate before, but never better than this. So I'm definitely feeling as good as I've ever felt before roping wise. This happened at Houston.
Yeah.
What else do you say? Bad get off, jumped off like a wild banshee, and on the foot that I'd had a little bit of problem with before.
Yep.
I think their doctors are kind of thinking that had probably a little bit to do with this happening. Bad luck, bad get off, bad ground, maybe a little bit something wrong with the foot. I don't know, but it hurt then.
So let's back up. January this year it was cool. I don't think you've done this ever. Tell me if I'm wrong. You skipped Denver in January. Is that the first time you did that?
Last year was the first time. I've kind of thought about it, throughout my whole career. Like, am I going to go? Especially since when they changed the format, and then now it's just a lot of trips. You're going to be dealing with a lot of bad weather, probably. Sometimes some years worse than others. But last year I spent most of January in Texas at home, and I definitely wasn't missing being in Denver, Colorado. No disrespect to any of the Colorado fans or people or nothing, but it's just a nice time to, our season, it comes back and starts so fast after the NFR. I enjoyed being home in January.
Yeah, it's exactly 30 days, almost to the day after the last round at the NFR. I mean, within 2 or 3 days there. So for the people, what did your January look like? You don't go to Denver. Mm-hmm. So... I mean, are there any rodeos during that time? What's going on?
We get to go to Petco in San Diego. That's a really good rodeo that I didn't win anything at, but that's a lot of money there. And I got to fly over there and ride peso, so wasn't bad. Only gone for a few days, didn't win anything, but that wasn't, traveling wise, it's pretty nice. Kind of like a vacation to go to San Diego
For real.
in January. The weather was good in Texas this year during that time too. But San Diego and then in Fort Worth, didn't win. I think I won $1,000 at Fort Worth. Didn't advance to the semifinals. Didn't go to Jackson at the beginning of February. Kind of just been spending my time. Been in the gym and practicing and
Yep.
really good routines. Really, really sharp practices. Been feeling really good.
Yeah. Because I want to talk about it too. You've always worked out, but it's been a cool, I've been setting this up waiting for you to talk about it, but like what's been new this winter, this January, February is you've always worked out, but this year you've kind of implemented new strategies, new game plans to take it to the next level. And one of the questions, we put up a questionnaire for the people, they wanted to know what's the training program of a calf roper? Like what's your training program? I think it'd be interesting to kind of share.
Yeah, I think everybody's different. I've done a little bit of different stuff throughout my whole career. When I thought I just needed to do like more yoga type stretching stuff there for a few years whenever I was having some different stuff with my back and some different things. Right now, the biggest thing is I've been trying to get stronger every week.
Yep.
Not necessarily going on a diet by any means, eating a lot, fueling my body, and trying to get stronger. We're getting stronger every week, going up on the weights. Obviously the calves are big, guys are strong. I'm only getting older and the calves aren't getting any smaller. And just that extra strength right there makes a big difference. There's a lot of these dudes that are studs.
Yep.
You look at Riley Webb, Kincaid Henry, Riley Pruitt, everybody, Tough Cooper, Joel Braden, these guys are athletes and they're in good shape and they're not weak. And every bit of extra strength, in my opinion, helps.
Helps for sure. So that's a big thing. You've been really in the weight room, really pushing on that front. And so prior to you roped at Fort Worth, but are you just going to the gym, going to the practice arena, and then that's your day? Like, what is it? Because you're not really going to that many rodeos.
Yeah, I've been working out, practicing, and not even that, probably practicing that many hours. It's been nice, short, focused, detailed practices, and yeah, it's been feeling really good. Routine's been feeling awesome, and anytime that I think you get a process and it's working, don't change it.
Yeah, because we've talked a lot about that of feeling confident, and you hear gurus and legends like Kobe Bryant, all these people talk about trust the process and all these things, but me and you have talked about a lot of the last month. Once you really start to put in like a level of work that's pretty high, you know it more than me, you're the athlete, but it seems like you literally start to feel more confident in the roping arena because of how much you practice, which is obvious to people. You hear it all the time, but it's different when you kind of do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've got a lot of messages, and I think Let's Freakin' Rodeo has been getting a bunch of messages too, saying they're glad that I got my year turned around and stuff because I started doing good at San Antonio. And I didn't really know that was news to me. I didn't know I was having a bad year. I hadn't really gone to many rodeos or got the opportunity to run many calves. And I was 48th in the world, but I hadn't really been anywhere, and the year's just getting started.
Yep.
So I wasn't really thinking like, oh, I'm behind. Oh, I just want to be the best I can. This is my 9th year rodeoing, and I don't know how many years. I know I hopefully have a good long career ahead of me, but every day matters, and you can't go back. So I'm just going to try to get as much as I can out of every year.
It's crazy. I remember when we were in Denver and I made a video for you, and it was year 6.
Yeah. Yeah, that was 22, right? Yeah.
It would have been our start of 2023.
2023, yep.
So this is start of year 9. Crazy. Tell me about your Tucson and your San Antonio stretch there. That was, number 1, a lot of travel, number 2, a lot of winning.
Yeah, and I honestly felt like I wrote better than what how much they paid me. I felt really, really good. Didn't really feel like I made too many mistakes. Didn't run a good calf in the Tucson short round. Probably should have done a little better in my San Antonio short round, but I definitely didn't have the one that I wanted. Run a lot of great calves there, obviously, to win the amount of money that I did. Just kind of fell where I ran the ones I didn't want to in the finals where they pay the most money.
Yeah,
but it felt great. A lot of traveling. I won 0 championship dollars that counts to the PRCA for Tucson, Arizona, and I had 44 hours of driving invested into it. Over $2,000 flights. And you make 3 trips out there and you don't win nothing. That was a little hard to swallow, but that's rodeo.
Yeah, the Cowboy Channel put up the graphic. I guess you went from Tucson You roped Friday in Tucson, and Saturday was championship day at San Antonio. Then Sunday was championship day at short round in Tucson. They put up a graphic and all the miles. It was crazy. But that's the wild part about roping is you roped phenomenal at Tucson. Didn't win $1.
Yeah, it felt great and didn't win nothing. I got $200 thanks to Tucson for giving me some diesel money for my victory laps. They give you $100 if you win a perf and I get a victory lap, and I got 2 victory laps, but nothing towards the standings. So
buy you a nice steak dinner, but make you feel better. So, yeah. So, I mean, Tucson, you rope great, but it doesn't matter. It's about roping great. You feel good and it carries on. But 4 first place victory laps in a row, San Antonio.
Yeah. What a rodeo. I mean, great calves. What a horse. Peso felt amazing. I felt good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, feel healthy, feel strong. Roping feels good. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Wish I could have got the victory lap on Saturday night for all the money in that buckle.
The cool thing that you've told me and I've learned is why y'all Cowboys, y'all like bracket rodeos. It's because you get guaranteed 3 calves at San Antonio, Houston, Fort Worth is 2.
Fort Worth 2.
So, but that's 1 rodeo. So you get 80 rodeos a year, and you get 3 guaranteed shots at $3,000 a round at Houston, whatever the rounds pay. But that's all that. You got 4 first place. That's 1 rodeo on your count.
Yeah, and there's a lot of mixed feelings. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for you saying that I like the tournament rodeos just because there's a lot of people that don't. Yep. There's a lot, the cowboy culture, you want, old daddy of Mall Cheyenne was 2 and a short. Fort Worth old school was 2 and a short. Everybody can enter. Everybody has a chance. Me personally, if the rodeos can put up the amount of money like San Antonio and Houston does and Calgary does, I think it's good for the Cowboys. I think that, yes, there's a lot of guys that don't have the opportunity to go, but also there is ways to get into those rodeos. You can go in October to those Texas rodeos and go qualify. And I mean, you see it every year. There's rookies that get into that get in, anytime you can compete against 9 guys, 9 of the best guys in the world, and you get for $3,000, first off, you don't have to draw as good of an animal, buck and horse or a bull or a calf, because you're only beating 9 guys or 7 guys that you're open against in Houston.
Yep.
I'm just saying, you look at the percentages at the odds, you're going to have a better chance of winning. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Riley Webb or Shad Mayfield are the best guys in the world. When you're open against 7 guys, you're going to have a better chance to win.
Tucson, you probably roped against 80 guys. Mm-hmm. And the rounds pay probably close to what you would make at Houston roping against 10 or 8, whatever the guys are. That's wild.
Yeah, that's the crazy part about our sport, right? You get to go to a rodeo like Houston and just park and sit in one spot, and they take care of you. And nothing against any of those other rodeos, but that's just the caliber of a rodeo like Houston is. Hospitality, they're feeding you, your horse is just getting to chill in one spot. I mean, you're hanging out with the family, you're watching the concerts, you rodeo like Tucson, which is what we do 99% of the year, is you're driving, you're traveling, you're flying, figuring out ways to get there to try to draw a really good animal, rope against 90 something of the best guys in the world, or compete against however many guys are in each event, and you have for about the same amount of money.
Seriously.
I mean, so I think it just kind of is a testament to, which in sports has conferences and conference games and district games and where it's more important, but for rodeo, you better capitalize at the big ones, and you get a chance to go rope at Houston for $65,000. You're going you can go up and down the road for 2 months and not have a $65,000. It's a $65,000 a month is really hard for us to have in the PRCA.
Exactly.
That's really killing it, and you can do it in one day at a rodeo like Houston. So,
yeah, exactly. The last point I'll make on it too is Joel Braden. Literally, is the example of a success story at Houston while not getting what you want. He didn't advance to the semifinals. He's not going to get to win $65,000. But he won the last round, walks away with $3,000. To walk away from a rodeo disappointed with $3,001
shows you how good a rodeo it is, right?
Yeah, right. The point, we're setting all this up because you killed it at San Antonio, killed it at Tucson, no money, but roping phenomenal. You go into Houston, round 1, round win. For our Series 1 first round, you're the first roper. I'm sorry, let me back it up.
You're good.
If it's the first day of Rodeo Houston, you're the first event, tie down roping, and you go out and you win the round.
Yeah, that was kind of a surreal feeling, like bam, 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 San Antonio, why don't I just do this all the time?
For real, right? For real. So you do that. Second night, you go out and First off, the calf, I don't even know. Obviously, I don't know the inside report. We didn't really talk about that calf, but it goes way left. You got to track it all the way over there. We rope and fly off like a banshee trying to get down the rope, and you make a good run. You win $1,000. Great run. And then you're limping back. I'm like, oh, he just tweaked something.
Yeah.
And then obviously talk about what happened. And then that night, the next day, how you figured out everything that was happening. We're going to take a quick break from the podcast to tell you about the presenting sponsor, Boot Barn.
Boot Barn's mission is to feed America, build America, and protect America. And that's exactly what they do for us rodeo cowboys and everybody that's involved in the Western industry. They sponsor over 600 rodeos across the country. Everywhere you go in the rodeo world, you're going to see Boot Barn. Please go support these guys that support us.
Boot Barn proudly represents cowboy culture, rodeo, and what the West represents. They're tied in with the blue-collar community, and they support what we love.
Cole, how many stores did they say?
When we started the podcast, it started with 450. Halfway through the pod, it was 475. And now it's over 500 locations across the country.
From coast to coast. And if you don't have a Boot Barn near you or you're an online shopper, go to bootbarn.com and they'll have what you need. They'll get you covered from head to toe. I don't care if you dress like Cole, me, or anything in between. Boot Barn's got what you need.
Thank you to Boot Barn for sponsoring our podcast. Let's get back into the episode.
Yeah, so everybody's texting, you see the Cowboy Channel and you seen me kind of limping back to my horse, but no one really thought anything of it. I thought, man, that kind of hurt, That night it got more sore and more sore. The next morning I had to crawl to get up to go to the bathroom when I woke up, on my hand, I was hopping. I could not touch my right foot on the ground, and I was like, oh crap, something's wrong. I need to go get an x-ray to get a picture and figure out what we got going on. Wasn't really swollen, wasn't black and blue, whatever. Well, first off, throughout this process, I've learned I can never be a rough stock rider. You got your guys like Stetson Wright and Wasey Shala and all of them, all these rough stock dudes, especially the bull riders, bareback riders. This is nothing. They're always fighting through something, right? So yeah, I texted Andrew Shea, my good buddy that we actually had on the podcast, my main man in a lot of this stuff, and he's like, yeah, come see me. And I mean, I'm hobbling in there, and he's like, "Oh, we better get you a cortisone injection." Because at that point, I was still planning on trying to rope that night. I've never turned out or done what I did there and stuff, so I was planning on trying to rope. But then the more the day kind of went on and progressed, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to rope. So talked to him, called Steve Knowles, talked to the PRCA, got it cleared with all the Houston people, the judges, and everything. If I want to come back and compete in the semifinals, which is at this point that was 2 weeks down the road, and I'd already had enough money wanting to advance at Houston. And if I wanted rope in the semifinals, I have to compete. So I had to declare for my calf to go get onto my horse, declare. I couldn't just not show up because I can't come back and rope. And I think a lot of people thought, why is he even trying to do this? He's not gonna be able to rope. Because they seen how I'm on crutches. I couldn't walk that day. They're thinking he's not gonna be able to rope. And in my mind, I knew I was gonna rope at Houston. I didn't know how good I was gonna be able to. But the last 2 days, this thing has been healed so fast. It's crazy. It's only been 9 days since it happened, and it feels good. I could go rope tonight. Which they said, Andrew and those guys said, it's just a little tiny fracture that hurt real bad right then, but it heals fast, and I've done everything I can do to try to get back as fast and good as possible from all the barrel racing stuff and the lasers and the beamers and the everything, ice elevate, stuff like that. Everything but strong pain pills, prescription pills. Long story short, I was gonna rope, knew I was gonna rope, but my foot feels good enough to go in. I just need to go do it.
Yeah. First off, why is he doing this? He's on crutches. Obviously, he can't rope. There is a penalty if you don't show up to Houston, correct?
Yeah, I think you can't come back for 2 or 3 years.
Even if you couldn't rope in the semifinals, which you're going to, you would still have to show up to the semifinals and do the same thing you just did.
If something happened, let's say I had a torn ACL, let's say I got a torn ACL, wasn't roping, I can doctor release out and they will move down and pick up the next guy.
Gotcha.
But you has to be declared, notified, I was injured, you get your doctor's note and everything. That's how it works. But if you just don't show up, let's say truck runs out of diesel or something happens, you've seen the video of Marty Yates running down the highway on his horse to make it to Houston. You would do that really for trying to make any rodeo, but especially there, you can't come back for 2 or 3 years.
So there's obviously Houston is they classify why you didn't make the rodeo. If it's not a legit injury,
Correct.
you're out 2-3 years.
So doctor release is different than, which I don't know why I did this, because it's actually a doctor release, but getting turned out there is you get penalized.
So, okay, now let me ask you again. When you went to the doctor, not pushing it, standard recovery time, what'd they tell you it would take?
They said 4 to 6 weeks is what it would be, which I was like, oh wow, that's, if they're telling you that for normal recovery time, that's like fast.
I ain't average, bro.
I never broke anything, So, I mean, everyone says breaks are not as bad as tendons. Breaks are better than tendons.
Yeah.
I mean, this seems pretty true because it hurt real bad that day. A few days later, I was like, oh, this is a little better. I'm a week in and I feel good.
And so what have you been doing to get, are you off your feet every day and you're going to show up and then just get on your horse and rope?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to decide now. I wasn't going to practice at all. That wasn't in the game plan or even in my mind, but now it's getting to feeling so good. I might get on and run some breakaway or something, and because I haven't rode a horse, this whole week. And so it's feeling good enough. I'll probably do a little practicing before I go down there.
This is going to be so awesome. This podcast is going to come out on the day you're going to rope at the semis.
The day before.
You're up in the 18th.
Yes, sir.
Did you get traded out? I thought originally you were the 17th, or is it?
There's 2 semis, and I'm the 18th.
You just got the 18th. You probably can't even trade.
You can trade with those guys. So if the 4 guys advance out of the set, and you can trade them amongst yourselves,
really,
for help with conflicts and everything. Yeah. And I had said I was going to trade there just to get every day I possibly could, anyways. But I drew the 18th. I didn't have to trade, but those guys were going to help me out and trade me to give me just every minute that I could to recover. Yeah.
Tomorrow, after watching this, we're going to see how it goes. I mean, they're watching this and tomorrow you're open. So what's your prediction?
I mean, I'm trying to get that buckle this week. I mean,
you feel good? You feel like you can win it?
I feel good. I hope so. I mean, the great calves, Logan's bringing peso over here for me, and might as well just try to go win it.
Come on. What a story. Where the injury happened, is it one of those deals where you can get injured worse if you push through it?
They said that day, like if I hit wrong, which there's also always different opinions, not that I know which one's right or which one's wrong. I heard both. I heard some people say, oh, it's just going to hurt if you try to rope, can't break it worse. There's also a doctor that said if you land wrong, it could break worse. I don't know.
Yeah.
They were excited that I was going to get to give it a couple weeks off, though, without they think they're not worried about after a couple weeks that shouldn't be an issue.
What about, when's the American?
That is
it in May this year? Or
it's in May. It's the 3rd week of May.
So you'll be cleared up by then, because that's $2 million. You know what I'm saying?
$2 million.
So we need. I mean, obviously that doesn't count PRCA, but I mean, 65,000 is huge. $2 million is huge. It's a lot of big rodeos. San Angelo is going to be April 1st. I don't know when you're up. I think the rodeo starts April 1st. This is a big kind of 2 months here.
Yeah, I mean, really and truthfully, all year's big for us rodeo cowboys now. I mean, you want to be on top of your game all year long because there's so much money. You got the Honda rodeo in April. You got the American in May. You got Houston right now. You got San Angelo, the California run, and then you look up and it's going to be the summer run, You got Nashville they added. I mean, there's the amount of rodeos and the amount of money that we're getting to go at is unreal. And you man just wants to really be prepared all the time.
Your man wants to just be prepared all the time. It's so true. We talked about the podcast. You said it. I'm really starting to grasp it now. It truly is a great time to be a rodeo cowboy. I mean, literally every week there's a big one.
I mean,
a big one. I mean,
a rodeo cowboy right now, without even doing something like the American and winning that, could make $1 million in a year, And I know that inflation and everything, and it's expensive to live, but that's a good dadgum good living, I mean,
that's like
so
very good.
And I know on recently our podcast we've kind of been touching on how it could be better, and obviously we want rodeo to grow more than anything.
Yeah,
but also let's look back to 5 years ago. In 2016 the world champion won $200,000, and Wood Riley won $500,000 last year. And that's before. That's not even talking about all the other ones that aren't even PRCA sanctioned. From the all I call them stadium rodeos. Your baseball stadium, baseball park rodeos. It's a lot of money, man. And so, we obviously want it to get better and grow and more, and we always want that. But sometimes be happy for where we're at too. Both.
That's a great point. It's always interesting. You look at different events like steer wrestling. those world standings are always lower. But if you look at compared to Saddle Bronc, the top 5 to 8 guys all typically have above 200,000 going into the finals. You know what I'm saying? But it's each event is different. But yeah, it's a great time to be a cowboy. So let's talk about horses a little bit. Peso every day becomes more and more famous, literally. So what makes Peso so special?
I think Braden said it on an interview one time. He doesn't do anything to hurt you. Every move he makes is in your favor. It never feels like he's going against you. You know, what a testament to how many different riders and ropers can jump on him. And like, you know, me and Braden's style is different. You know, Logan's style is different. Everybody has a little bit different style, and he's just the same all the time. I mean, it's from scoring to running to every move he makes. He doesn't do anything but help you.
Yeah. And we're gonna, we were talking with Joe B. Hopefully we'll get him on soon. We'll do a whole podcast just about horses because it's so interesting. But how hard you've been roping for 9 years professionally, and then now you've been roping for 9 years professionally, and then even before that you've roped since you were in middle school, elementary school. How hard is it actually to find that good horse?
Oh man, finding them, training them, keeping them working, keeping them healthy. You want to bubble wrap these things with what they cost and with how much money you can make on them. I mean, they're more. We've talked about it before on these podcasts. A good horse, a really, really good horse will cost about the same as a house, and for good reason. There takes so many years to make them, and there's only a few of that caliber of type horses out there,
Can I ask you about how it works, amount money, and what your deal is with Peso?
Yeah, so going rate for usually in the calf roping is 25% is what you pay, depending on who's feeding the horse, who's taking care of it, who's paying for the shoes, who's paying for insurance and whatever. But usually when you show up to the rodeo, you jump on, you tie your rope on, it's 25% of what you win.
So, calculate every time you've rode the horse. Someone who's watching can go back and do that math. 25% of all your winnings Logan Bird makes because he's the owner of the horse.
100%. I mean, Logan's seems to me like he's probably making as good a living as anybody out here,
Right.
And obviously great calf roper too. He wins a bunch every year, so he's doing good, which don't think it ain't easy. I mean, that dude's out there, they're riding 10 to 15 horses a day training, and you don't just come across one. You're going to have to ride a bunch of them. Usually you're not just a dime and a dozen, like I'm going to train one horse and he's just going to be great,
Exactly.
It's like saying you're going to take one kid off the street and he's going to be LeBron James. I mean,
right.
or Kevin Durant or whatever. You take hundreds of thousands of people, of young, very talented athletes to maybe get one LeBron James.
Even just maybe make it to the NBA. It's
millions.
Like 1% of 1%.
Yeah, I mean, from millions of people. Same thing with horses.
Yeah, that's so interesting. We had a question on our Instagram about Sally. What are we not seeing? Why don't we see Sally as much anymore?
Sally May, we'll see her a lot this summer. I rode her last year. I rode her at Mandan and 6-8 at Albuquerque to kind of seal my deal to make the finals. You'll be seeing her. It's one of those deals where Joe B said he was never too proud to tie his horse up if he could get on a better one. And
exactly.
I mean, just really and truthfully, I don't own a horse that's better than Peso today, and there's less than 5 horses. I just don't think anybody would argue with the fact that there's no more than 5 horses in the world of calf roping today that are better than him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're all in the same category, and even at that point, it's all kind of preference. It's what fits you, what fits your guy.
Yeah, or 10 or whatever, however many horses there is. I mean, there's not many horses in the world that are better than him, or even on the same caliber.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I can't remember the saying, but it's like the amount of money. It's like 100% of. Or 75% of a lot is more than 100% of less.
That's 100%. Yeah. People say that about business a lot. I'd rather own 50% of a $10 million company than 100% of a $500,000 company.
I'm not good with the quotes and the one-liners and stuff. Our guests are usually a lot better at that than me. But I was told by an old calf roper one time, he said, 75%, keeping 75% of a lot is more than 100% or less.
That's a fact right there.
So anytime I can get on a horse like that and keep 75% of hopefully a lot, I'm gonna do it.
I kind of want to talk about what's going on in rodeo right now. So, first wild stat. You probably won't even believe this. I don't even know if you know this. But Wasey Shaw, this is a crazy stat. Number 1 in the world right now in the bareback riding. Not even in the top 50 in the bull riding.
I did not know that.
Isn't that just a wild? I mean, he's a great bull rider. He's probably still going to make the NFR, but that's just a crazy stat.
That is a crazy stat. I mean, these Texas rodeos are so huge. Like we said, the purse and the prize money is so huge. But I mean, a lot of people say that the summer's where it's won or lost. Making the finals and world championships and stuff. The winter is kind of bonus money almost. You'll see a lot of guys that aren't in the top 15 or even close to it, starting come Reno, and then you look up about Cheyenne or Caldwell, and there they come creeping up. You see it year in and year out. So that does shock me that he's not in the top 50, but also don't worry me for him. I think we've been to 6, 7, 8, 9 rodeos.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to get turned around. I don't know what's going on. I haven't talked to him about it or nothing, but I'm sure he's probably in the same boat as I was a couple weeks ago. Didn't even know it needs to turn around. Like, I mean, I think the guys like that, especially now with what he's won, and a guy like that, not just specifically Wasey, but when you go in there and have that much success and have dominated like he has, that's only going to make it easier to stay confident right through the lows because you know how good you are.
Yeah. I was just editing on my documentary, Saddle Bronc, and Zeke said the exact same thing. This is really where you make your money. July, August, September. June, July, August, September. Really July, August, September. And he said the same thing. It's bonus money. And I mean, as a fan, I never really fully understood that. Because I'm like, Houston, all the big ones, Fort Worth. But just the sheer quantity of rodeos, I think, me as a fan, here's my feedback on what you said. The quantity of rodeos, you got one a day, one every other day. The consistency and the rhythm you get, and plus you still have 60 rodeos left starting in June probably.
Yeah, I think that's why just sheer numbers, 3/4 of the rodeos that we go to will happen from June to September, June through September. I'll go to 18 to 20 rodeos from October to June, and then 60 to 62 rodeos from Reno on.
Talk to me about, so it's bonus money. I look at this after you killed it at San Antonio and first 2 rounds at Houston. I'm looking at that standings. I'm checking it. I'm updating it. I mean, is this compared it to the other 8 years you rodeoed? I mean, how much of a buffer do you have? You said it's bonus money. Is this kind of a good year, heading into May, or have you? I know you've had worse years where you're like not even in the top 50. Sorry, that was a terribly worded question. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're good. Yeah. What was that one year? I was 47th when Woodward in June. I was 47th in the world.
Yep.
So that actually is a way tighter position than I was 48th a couple weeks ago. But like I said, we hadn't been anywhere.
Yeah.
So many rodeos still to go. So yeah, I'm not really looking at it, really even thinking about it. My goal this year is to win $500,000 in the PRCA, and people have set goals for world championships in this, and obviously, I want to be there and be a world champion, but I think I can realistically, no matter what happens, is Lord willing, I stay healthy and my horses stay healthy. I think I can win $500,000 in the PRCA this year. That's my goal, and that should put you up there towards having a chance. I'm not saying that anybody's going to knock off Riley Webb. He's 3-time straight world champ, and if you win 500, who's to say he's not going to go win 600 or so? But that's my goal for this year.
Hey guys, we're going to take a quick break from the podcast to tell you about our newest sponsor, Resistol. Resistol is the hat company for cowboys. They are the oldest sponsor of the PRCA. They have sponsored rodeo for 100 years. They've been involved in rodeo. They've been involved in the community, the culture. If you're a cowboy, you wear Resistol.
When those young cowboys and cowgirls crack off for their rookie year, they're chasing the Resistol rookie year.
What's one of the most famous awards in rodeo? The Resistol Rookie of the Year, and I got one sitting right by me.
Resistol is proud to have supported the Resistol rookies since the beginning. This huge accomplishment sets those cowboys and cowgirls up for future trips to the NFR and world championships.
Since 1927, if you hear the name Resistol, you automatically think they are the finest hats in the Western world.
Each felt hat goes through 100 highly skilled craftsmen, and that's how they come up with the most consistent and finest cowboy hat known to the world.
Thank you to Resistol for sponsoring this podcast. Let's get back into it. Do you have a goal for the summer? Like starting the summer run, do you have a dollar amount you want to be at or no?
Man, if I could be over 100,000, that would feel amazing. I think I could win a couple hundred in the summer. If you go into the finals with 300,000, you're going to be up there. You might have even get you a single digit back number. I've never had one of those.
You had an 11. The highest you got was 11, right?
Yeah, lowest, but yeah, that's
or lowest. Yeah. Another crazy storyline in rodeo right now. Rusty Wright, one of the Wright brothers, didn't make the NFR last year. Honestly, I don't know the fullness of his story, but you hear everybody talk about he's been through a lot of things in his life, and then come back this year. And this is not my words. Someone else said this. One of the greatest saddle bronc starts maybe ever. Arguably, it's on the top of the list, of a short list. $97,000 won. He tomorrow, either 17th or 18th of March, he'll be in the semifinals in Houston. He advanced to the semifinals, won Fort Worth, placed high in San Antonio. I mean, what a story. I mean,
yeah, I'm hoping we can get him on here and let him tell it. You know, I don't know. I honestly don't even know enough, and I'm not gonna tell his story for him. But just as a fan from the outside looking in, holy crap, it's awesome to see, right? You know,
Yep.
I mean, and I think it's almost maybe gets a little bit not blown up as much as it would if he wasn't Rusty Wright. That
Yeah.
last name, people just expect the Wrights to be at the NFR. You know,
It's true.
didn't realize how long it's been since he's had major success, and it's really cool to see. He said he's riding for a world championship is what his plan and goal is. So
You see it on social media a lot. You see what he's saying.
I mean,
on
you
social.
got four brothers that legitimately are gold buckle contenders.
Yep. Which is so funny. He's number 1 in the world. Stetson's number 2 in the world saddle bronc riding right now. It's very early, but and talking about back on number goals.
And the other two guys, Statler and Ryder, the other two brothers, were number 1 and 2 last year. So obviously they
Ryder's defending world champion the year before, 2024. Statler's were defending world champion in 2025.
Yeah, I mean,
and they're both number 1 and number 2 in the world this year.
Yeah, so
fun watching, fun time to be. But also it's cool. He's 97,001, and Houston's not even over yet. And you just said if you have over 100,000, that would be a great goal. And it's only March. I mean, just so for the numbers for the people listening, like how far of a bonus he has, how far ahead he actually is. He's set up to do something special, you know.
You never know.
Long year,
long old road, like we always say. But what a start! If he can keep this type of momentum, which I'm sure there are going to be some valleys too. But man, be cool to see.
Going back to San Antonio and Tucson, the story, the Cowboy Channel put up the graphic. You said you went 2,000 miles. You invested a lot of dollars. Or was it more than 2,000? How many miles was it?
I don't know. I know I drove in the truck 44 hours and caught 2 planes as well.
Off that, what is the most crazy travel situation you've had in your 9 years?
Whew, now you're talking my language, Cole. You know this is what gets me excited.
So was that first off? Was that like nothing? Like that's elementary compared to where we're going.
Yeah, that wasn't a big deal. I mean, the summer, you know how the summer can get, and especially when you're younger. Well, first off, the rodeo count used to be 100. For everybody that doesn't know, a rodeo count is the maximum that you can go to declare for your world standings. So we used to be able to go to 100 rodeos. Obviously, that's going to be a tighter schedule, and you're doing a lot of those in the summer. Then I also had one horse that I was rodeoing on and winning on for some of those years, 2021, 2018. I got on iron when I was trying to chase the rookie, and I don't want to say the wrong number, but it was over 100 hours in the truck of that week of Caldwell, my rookie year. And I remember Trevor Brazil. Looking back, I was probably a young dumb kid that entering wise maybe didn't enter how I should, or maybe should have got on a plane and didn't. I don't know. But Trevor Brazil was flying from Caldwell to Baker, Montana, and then Baker back to Kennewick. And that's, for people that don't know, it's what, 24, 25 hours. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty much 24 hours of driving for one rodeo, because you're going 12 to Baker, 12 back to Kennewick, whenever you were right there by Kennewick and Caldwell. So he's flying, and he's like, being the nice veteran that he was, he's offering I could jump on, and it's a charter plane, and they're taking care of it or something. It was some sort of real sweet deal. And I remember talking to my dad, and I hadn't won nothing. I had a bad summer, and then got on kind of a heater that week on iron. And he said, "Better stick on that sorrel horse you're winning on." I said, "Yeah, I believe so. You're right. It's gonna suck," because that was an all-nighter too. It was a 1 o'clock perfect. So it's Saturday night, Caldwell, Idaho. Sunday, 1 o'clock, Baker, Montana. Monday morning, 7 a.m. Kennewick. So, I mean, I remember rolling, and then we had
So you're saying you did not get on the charter because you wanted to stay on that horse that you had some rhythm with?
Yes, sir. I had some luck, and not really.
So you could have got there early, got some sleep, relaxed, but you would have had to hop on another horse, or let's drive all night so I can keep this thing rolling.
Drove all night, buddy. And 2 nights in a row.
Did it even pay off though? You said because you want to stay on the horse.
I won $1,700.
Hey, baby, that's what it. That's what it is. So that's the number. That's the most driving you think you did in a. You think that was the most intense?
There were 2021 with me and Sherman Lasker was driving for me. We did some really crazy stuff because I had one horse, truck, trailer, me, Sherman, and Spider-Man. That's it. There was no backup plan. There was no nothing. And we did some really crazy stuff that year. But that time, I remember driving from Baker to Kennewick, and I remember that I could drive for like 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, and then I would have to get in the back seat and nap and while we switched. But it was only 2 of us, and man. Like when you nap for 30 and you can only drive for 30, you're that tired and you're that worn out. It's a different level of exhaustion, you know. And I don't usually have any problem staying up, but I legitimately could only get about 30 minutes. If every minute I slept, I could drive for that long.
One of the questions that people ask on Instagram, I mean, we're like iPad kid generation, I guess, that we always need something to do. But when you drive for that many hours, it actually is a great question. What do you do in the vehicle that long if you're driving?
Yeah, when I was younger, I did music. Now I'm getting more into like movies or something, or listening to. I've tried to listen to some books, try to get some education out of it. You know, it's not really my forte, my strong point, but
which is crazy because Lisa Lockhart said she doesn't do nothing; she just drives.
But I think Lisa Lockhart, as we know, is different.
She's just an animal.
She's built different.
She's Let's Freakin' Rodeo. But you try to books.
Yeah, whatever. Talk on the phone a bunch, and in the summer, my friends hear from me a lot more probably on the phone because I got a lot of driving time, so I'll just call them. It's usually we don't do any free sponsorships, but I'll just throw it out there for them. AT&T, when I started rodeoing, there was a lot of road across the country that did not have service, and so you didn't have phone service for like through Wyoming, Montana, all these different states you rodeo in, and they got it fixed now. But that was different, you know, being an iPad generation, like you said, and you always have entertainment and then nothing.
Yeah, I mean, when I roll with you, or you go through Idaho and you're on the way to Oregon, and there is nothing for hours.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure there's been bad situations where you run out of gas, or people have ran out of gas. I know you haven't. I know you have ran out of gas, but not because of that. But yeah, it's just this is a long road. There ain't nothing out there.
Sometimes you take it for granted too what a normal person has seen in their lifetime or traveled. You know, they might have been on some vacations and stuff, but like actually seeing the country, I think sometimes take it for granted that
For sure.
how much we've gotten to see and do and live. I mean, I know exactly how far it is from whatever, you know, tell me a state or in a city in the northwest or the west side of the country, and I can tell you exactly how far it is to get there, you know. I mean,
most people take one vacation a year, and you've been to. It would take people 150 years to see the locations you've seen.
Yeah, and that's for all of us rodeo guys and girls. It's a long old road, but it's a pretty blessed one.
Kind of one of the fun hypothetical conversations about rodeo is, man, we should shorten the rodeo length. We should do 30 rodeos and make it more like the NFL, make it more like that stuff. Because of what you're saying, how hard and how gruesome this road is, how expensive it is. I mean, all those things. But part of me thinks that that's what's part of rodeo, you know? So I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, you're going to get me in there and probably piss some people off. And, you know, financially, yes, well, shorter seasons, you know, less rodeo, less traveling and everything. Obviously, you cut that way down on expenses, then there's a more of a light at the end of the tunnel probably financially. But man, I don't know if I would trade what I've gotten to see and live and do, you know. Obviously, the older you get, the more you wish there was a little bit less traveling, a little bit, you know, and you get a family and stuff. I think that you see a lot of it with the PBR. You know, guys get to go PBR when they get older. It's, you know, you go one place for a weekend, maybe like a Houston is for us. Like you go one spot, stay. You're not traveling across the country, but also all that cool stuff we just talked about is it's positive and negatives, right? Of what we do.
Yeah, like you're not married yet, you don't have kids yet. A lot of guys in their 30s and 40s, they don't go to 80 rodeos a year. Yeah. They get their money, and then when they make the NFR, they're done. Yeah. And so imagine for them, they're like, if I can make the NFR even sooner going to 30, and that's more time, but you're literally married to the game. Like all you do is rodeo, all you do is this podcast, all you do is rodeo. Rodeo is your life. So you're like, this is the dream, bro. Like, why would we change? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then one day you may not feel the same. You know, it's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. I was one of those. So a lot of times the contestants get to vote on the rodeo count for how many. Like I said, it used to be 100 for a short time frame, and then now it's 80. I think 80 is probably a pretty good number. There's so many great rodeos throughout the year. I think if you start cutting it down less than 80, you're gonna miss out on a lot of good rodeos and not get to count them and stuff. But you know, they've had the Trevor Brazils and the Caleb Smiths and all these legends that I looked up to my whole life that are voting on this when I come into the game. And I remember I voted 100, and I'm a little bit embarrassed to say it now just because I was like, them guys they want less just because they're older.
Yeah.
You know, they're older guys. They just don't want to travel.
Yeah.
Give me 125. You
Yeah.
know? Looking back, it didn't make sense. You know, you should probably listen to the goats of the sport that have lived it their whole life. They probably know what they're doing.
Yeah, they probably have perspective because they've been the young guy. Now they also are the old guy, and now they can probably speak in, you know, what's the perfect happy medium.
And in my defense, I was just trying to get in there. You know, I just wanted to make the finals. So I thought that might be a little bit of advantage for me as a younger guy, you know, get me more rodeos. And, you know, I'm not saying I was going to go beat Trevor Brazil and Caleb Smith. I was just saying they get 15 spots, and my best chance of getting